Now this is my painting, Son of a Man. I'm gonna present about it. Brief fact description. The Son of a Man is a self-portrait made by Ren Magritte in Belgium, 1964. The painting represents a man, an adult, standing on a high castle, according to me. He's dressed in a costume, and he's also wearing a bowler hat. In front of the face, there is a green apple. You can barely see the eyes, but the rest of the face is totally hidden. This picture was intentionally made like this because Ren, the sculpture maker, believed that he meant that he wanted the visible to be sort of hidden. Now, in this picture, we find all three kinds of grounds. The foreground, the midground, and the background. In the foreground, you can see a man dressed in a costume, right here, you see. In the midground, we see a wall, here, which probably is a part of castle, since the sea right behind is so far down, and, castle usually are quite high, and that kind of material they use, which is quite a thick concrete, is not used today. We are more modern, building with some kind of woods or some kind of other concrete. So I think that's an antique castle. The background is a quite cloudy and gray sky. We also see a sea and a quite shiny horizon. You see the sea right here, the cloudy and gray sky here, not a face though here, this part, and a quite shiny horizon. And the central point of this picture, according to me, is the apple, because that's what hooks you. When you just pass by this picture, the first thing you see is the apple, and that's why you're like, what? Why is there an apple? What do the people look like? Well, since this was a self-portrait, Ren used a lot of what he uses on his free time, like a bowler hat and an overcoat. This is a man dressed in costume, hat, using a tie, and having an apple in front of his face. Again, why is there an apple? No idea, to be honest. And how does a person go together with the environment? Well, I personally don't think that the picture itself goes together so well with the environment. We usually see a man dressed in overcoat with a hat on a meeting, like an important meeting, like an economical discussion meeting or something. This is, in my eyes, therefore, a picture, a painting, with the purpose of like an important meeting on in an antique building. But if we're gonna look for the general opinion, I think it goes together with the environment. The person doesn't melt into the environment. It's like, why is that man dressed like that, in that way on that building? I mean, it's quite strange, And the man with costumes we often find on meetings, parties. And a special detail, as mentioned earlier, is a green apple. And behind the apple you can see a bit of the hidden face. The eyes, though. Not so much. Detail description. Well, this picture isn't that... Without that apple, this picture wouldn't be so hooking. This picture has no action at all, I believe. Just look at and compare this picture. I mean, you think oh my god, he's 10 meters above the earth. What will happen? Will he have enough time to get the parachute out? You have already feelings and emotions in your head, even if it's not you or any of your family members. But this picture don't have some much expression, just as a casual man standing on a building which borders the sea. It's quite calm and sad, actually, I think. Colors and shapes. This picture isn't a sharp picture, though. I think it's quite soft and not so outshining. There are a lot of different colors in this picture, some mixed together, some clearly found. Following colors is colors I found: black, white, red, green, gray, blue, skin color, sort of a light pink in the horizon, and sort of quite strange here. Well, it's quite a like brown-gray color, and the shapes in my chosen picture isn't that sharp, except the wall, as you can see here. It's not like, if you understand what I mean, but it's, well, that's the sharpest thing you find in this picture, I believe. And disregarded from the low wall, that must be the straight. Everything else is curvy, and this makes the picture really calm to watch on, you know? It's just so amusing. It's not like, whoa, I can't understand the system. It's, yeah, clearly found. What feeling does this painting give? Well, some people might feel like, wow, I can paint better, I think. Some people think like it's a stupid picture with no purpose at all. Some people will find it joyful. But for me, and I think that any other observer, it gives an intense feeling of wanting to see it hidden. What's really behind the apple? How does his face look like? Why is there an apple? It also gives me an interesting feeling, like, why is there an apple? What purpose did Ren have, Magritte have? And I found the picture mystical because I think Ren wanted to hide something. Maybe he didn't like his look, or maybe he didn't like his face expression because maybe it was old. But you never know, because he never told anyone about it. And now he's unfortunately dead, so we can't find the answer. And the reason I chose this picture was to find out whether there was an apple, but I never got to the answer, unfortunately. What is happening in this picture? Well, there isn't so actually nothing going on, according to Ren. According to me, I think it's a meeting, like, since it's Belgium, where there are a lot of antique buildings, I think it was a financial meeting where they discussed a lot, and then they took like a break for 10 minutes or so to take some fresh air. And always when you discuss something economically or something with money, it always appear like conflicts. And I think that this man, Ren painted, had an enemy which threw an apple right on his face, but you know, we only see like the second before it hits the face, strikes the face. So I think it's more like this. The true story behind. I think it's more like this. Like he says like, "Oh, you man, can you turn around?" And then right when he turns around, he sees an apple in front of his face. I think that's quite a logical explanation, and that's the only thing I can like even think about. Because a man in a costume with an apple in front of his face, I can't see any purpose. I would really like to see a purpose, but I can't. So this is what I firmly believe happened. But the actual thing that is happening is that there's a man standing like right on a picture, on a high castle bordering to a sea, with soon on a rainy bad weather day. You never know. But I firmly believe it's a mystical picture, and I know Ren wanted to hide something, because this is really something interesting behind.